What's up, guys? This video is going to be about how to set yourself up to have a good year in 2021. So before you go ahead and start thinking about what it is that you want to do this year, it's important to think about what did you do last year? Did you move forwards? Did you move backwards? Did you kind of stay the same? So go ahead, reflect on 2020. It's important that you get a pen and paper and write this stuff down. So I definitely recommend getting a journal. That's definitely going to help keep yourself accountable in the new year as well. But as far as reflecting goes, go ahead and reflect on this by putting a pen to paper and start thinking about, okay, did I move forward? If you feel like you moved forward, why is that the case? What did you accomplish in 2020 that makes you think that you had a good year? And what is it that you did to get those things done? What is it that you did to accomplish those things? So I did X, Y, and Z, or I accomplished X, Y, and Z because I took these steps. Now, if you don't think you had a good year, if you think you might have moved backwards or kind of stayed a little bit stagnant, ask yourself why that's the case. What standard are you comparing yourself to, right? Like, what are you missing that you would need to classify the year as good? Now, that's really important because now you know what it is that you have to do to have a good year in 2021. So the reason that you probably moved backwards, if you feel that way, is that you didn't really have a plan. So if you don't have a plan, if you don't have some set goals, then you have nothing to go back to. You have no map. You're kind of just driving along and you don't really know where you're going. So you have to set up some goals for yourself. And what these goals are going to act as, they're going to act as like checkpoints along the road that you're traveling. So, okay, here's the first checkpoint, right? I accomplished this goal. That's going to feel good. That's going to be like self-motivating. All right, keep on going. Next goal, what is it? So reflecting on 2020, that's holding yourself, that's kind of doing some like life accounting, right? So you're holding yourself accountable. You're coming to terms with the fact that, yes, I did move forward in 2020. Great. I got to keep doing the stuff that I've been doing. Or no, I didn't move forward in 2020, and that's all right. I got to come to terms with that. And it's because I didn't do this. So now you have to set those goals for yourself. Whatever was missing, you're going to write those down. You're going to give yourself a timeline. And now you have a map. As you drive along the road, you have a map and you have checkpoints that you can feel good about once you get there. So that's really big. You're going to have something to turn to hold yourself accountable. So self-reflection is something that is quite obviously rewarding, and 90% of people don't do it, or if they do, probably not enough. You have to be a good accountant in your life, not in terms of finances, although that would definitely help too. But you don't have to be a math wizard. You just have to hold yourself accountable. Now, if you feel like you might have moved backwards in 2020, a little disclaimer here, it's important to recognize that I'm talking about what was in our control. So what was in the domain of control. So if it's something that was outside of our hands, such as coronavirus, we had nothing to do with that, right? Like we turned on the news one day and it started talking about how there was this virus circulating. Next thing you know, you got to close up your business for a couple months at a time, right? Like that was kind of outside of your hands. Now think about what it is that's in your control, and did you move forward with regards to that domain? That's the big question to ask yourself. Now, I know COVID has definitely hit a lot of people really hard in terms of like if you own a business, or even just emotionally, if you're not really coping with it too well, being locked down and everything, like you're not used to this lack of being social. That's something to look at how you're going to cope with in 2021, right? Like, okay, what are my goals with regards to that? I have to figure out a way to be more social. I have to figure out a way to kind of let my business adapt to this year, right? This big change that we have. That is what's in your hands. So you can still have a response to the circumstances that were out of your control. Now, that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of my message here, is that you have to hold yourself accountable. You actually have to set some goals. And even though that's maybe a little bit obvious in terms of looking at how somebody's going to make progress, if you're watching this video, chances are this is going to serve you really well. So, like I said, that's the meat and potatoes, setting goals, giving yourself a time frame to go back to. Now, if you don't know what it is that you're passionate about and you don't know kind of where you want to go in life, so you were feeling a little bit stagnant with regards to 2020, that should be your first priority, right? That's on the top of your list of goals, figuring out what it is that I want to do. And that's a big thing. That might take you all year. That might take you the next couple years, right? You got to dip your feet in the water, and even more, you got to like take a swim in some different waters of different fields to figure out if you're passionate about them. Now, sometimes you dip a toe in and you know that you don't give a shit about whatever it is that you dipped your toe into. And if you know that right away, that's great. Put it in reverse and go try to find something else. But yeah, you have to take a swim sometimes, right? To be passionate about it, you have to learn something. You have to learn it and kind of develop a little bit of skill at it to actually enjoy it. So that's that on passion. I have a couple other videos on that too. You can go head over to my channel and take a look at the number one thing holding you back from accomplishing your goals and the number one thing keeping you from being happy. I don't know if those are actually the titles, but it's something along those lines. Those both focus on passion a lot. Now, in terms of your goal setting and keeping yourself motivated, there's a couple things that I want to talk about. So, number one, keeping yourself motivated. I have a video on that too, so go take a look at that, because you're gonna fall into some ruts sometimes if you don't really have some foresight here on how to keep yourself motivated. So go watch that video if you haven't already. That'll definitely help you in terms of accomplishing your goals. Number two, keeping yourself up with a good diet and exercise. Because if you're not eating well and if you're not moving your body, your energy is going to be very stagnant. It's not going to want to move forwards, right? You're not going to be very motivated. Exercise and diet put you, like, you hit the ground running with those things. You're already on pace. You feel like, okay, what is it that I'm going to do today, right? You've been eating good. If you're not eating well, you're going to feel kind of slumpy. You just kind of want to sit around all day. So those are two very important things. I'm not going to talk about those anymore. If you want to figure out how to get yourself on a good exercise routine and how to eat better, go watch a bunch of videos on that. YouTube's a great resource. You can buy books on this stuff. So yeah. The other thing I wanted to kind of warn you guys about is the hustle trap, the trap of the hustle mindset. So you've probably, if you have any kind of social media, you probably see a lot of these videos, a lot of this like inspirational stuff that tells you about like working hard and hustling, and you have to grind it out, and that's partially true, but you have to be very careful not to fully buy into it, because you're going to crash and burn. So you have to let yourself take some time for rest. You have to let yourself slow down a little bit. If you're going 1,000 miles an hour the whole year, you're going to crash and burn. You're going to have nothing left in the tank, right? In a couple months, you're not even going to make it the whole year. So this is one of those things where we got to slow down, and it's actually going to help us to go faster. In the long run, right, slowing down a little bit is going to help us make more progress in the big picture. And I think I had one other thing that I wanted to talk about. No, that's about it. Yeah, so that's my take on how to get yourself in the right position, how to set the stage for a good 2021. Get a journal. That's definitely going to help. So when we were talking about all the reflection and all the goal setting, you got to write this stuff down. So that metaphor that I used of having like a roadmap to turn back to, you can actually have a sheet of paper. You can have a book that you can go to, keep track of how it is that you're doing, and keep, and reference that to what it is that you wanted for yourself. And that's going to be, self-rewarding and self-motivating to see that you've actually, you can cross off those checkpoints along the way, as you're making the progress that you want to make in 2021. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, give it a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. You can head over to my Instagram page and send me a follow there. And if you want to get some coaching, you can check out the description below. I'll give you some information on how to get that. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.